Okay, guys, some of you have really stayed with me here while I'm having serious Wi-Fi problems. Can you see me and hear me? There's the question. Lots of people saying how Barnaby out, Barnaby being Spursy, but can you hear and see me? Because all I'm doing is, I'm in Brazil, I'm drinking, I just watched that absolute shit show. And those of you who've been watching my videos all week will have known that I pretty much exactly called how that game went. And absolutely shameful. Absolutely shameful. I don't know how they stick with him now. It seems like they're so desperate to stick with him. I don't see how they do that. How can they possibly? I'm going to go and have a look at the league table. Because I saw someone say that they thought if we lost today, we'd be 10 points behind them, but I think it's a lot closer than that, isn't it? Let's have a look. So we are 14th, 27. West Ham, 17. Okay, it is still 10 points somehow. Wow. I guess that is how they will somehow try and allow Thomas Frank to stay. But you cannot tell me that those players are playing for that manager. You cannot tell me that they care about him. You cannot tell me that they aren't playing at like 20% less than their best. I'm not claiming they're brilliant by any means. I'm not claiming they're brilliant, but they have no idea. They have no patterns. They have no confidence on the ball. They have absolutely nothing. It's dreadful to watch. And yet it's not a surprise. Watching us play a mid to low block against West Ham, when Thomas Frank in every press conference talks about how he wants his team on the front foot, he wants them to press, and they don't. And the reason they don't is either two things. He's not asking them to. The last thing he says before they go out, at the beginning of a game, the last thing he says in the changing room is, keep it tight, play narrow, don't concede anything, and it just plows negativity into their brains. Or because they're not interested in playing for him. They're just like, nah, fuck that. And that last goal, I know Romero got the equaliser, but he just at the end went up front. And that's where the corner came from. And then Vicario did Vicario things once again. And somehow, all week, we're getting these rumours that we're being linked with buying really good players. Which good players are going to come to this absolute shite? I mean, Gallagher, he tried hard, but what's the point in even trying hard for this manager? What is the point of trying hard for this manager? I honestly don't see how he survives the night, Thomas Frank, but you just don't know with these guys. You just don't know with Vinay Venkateshan. I came to Brazil 10 days ago, and Spurs have lost 3 times since. Bournemouth, where we were 1-0 up. Aston Villa, where the board and the owners were tricked into believing that the players gave a shit because they were 2-0 down at half-time and just attacked the second half. And then this bollocks today, where we made West Ham look like a good team. Fifth Elemento says everyone blames Frank, delusional fans. Are you watching, mate? Are you watching? Who else is to blame? Who else is to blame? He sets them up. He's the one who tells them what to do and what not to do. Dan Taylor says, this is a good day. I hope I never see Frank's face again. Yeah, maybe. They just appointed John Heitinga as assistant coach yesterday. And I said in my video, will that be the shortest appointment of anyone in the history of time? Because they can't sack Frank and give it to Heitinga, because he just got sacked by Ajax, and Ajax are having the worst season in Ajax's history, I believe. So it's beyond bad. I did a tweet earlier, and I think more important than that tweet, I did a video maybe 6 weeks ago with the title, Tottenham might get relegated, and people laughed at me. My ex-flatmate, who's a Newcastle fan, keeps texting me saying how I'm, basically rage baiting people, and of course we're not going to get relegated. Really? Really? Do you think we're going to go to Burnley away next time and beat them? We could so easily get sucked into that. We could so easily get sucked into it. And for any of you guys upset about the sound quality, I'm sorry, but I'm in Brazil and the Wi-Fi is bad, so I'm trying to jump on just to speak to you guys, but apologies that it's very echoey, I understand. But the room that I usually do it in wouldn't pick up the Wi-Fi. Anthony Rose says Basuma played quite well. Yeah, and that also makes Thomas Frank look bad. Big Biss came on, and I think he was our man of the match by a stretch. But I don't know. I think the biggest problem with it is I don't care. I'm laughing when I watch this shit. When we had Pochettino as manager and we would lose a game, I was so livid and so angry and upset because I knew how good we were. But now there's nothing to grab onto. There is nothing to grab onto. Yeah, Martin Neutral says, why take off Tell? Apparently there were huge boos when Tell was taken off. At least Tell was trying things. That's the thing, he was trying things. People having a go at Xavi Simons, talking about how he had a stinker again. I feel for Xavi Simons because it's almost like Thomas Frank says to everyone, you've got to concentrate on defending so much that you're not allowed to get anywhere near Xavi Simons when he has the ball. So when he has the ball, he's got no one around him. So he's waiting, he draws the defender on, he tries to beat the defender. That's not his game. It's like asking Christian Eriksen to beat a defender one-on-one. It's not his game. And I'm not saying Xavi Simons is anywhere near Christian Eriksen's quality, but he's a creative player. He's not a bad player. But nobody is ever near him. It improved slightly in the second half when Basuma got on the ball, and therefore Xavi was around ball players a bit more for some triangles and 1-2s. But I feel for him. And this is not the right manager. I mean, I'm not even going to fucking rant and rave about it. It's not even close. And we've known it for 3-4 months. Everybody's known it. I wrote a tweet. I said, at least Daniel Levy would have sacked this guy. He would have sacked this guy by now. And then it would have gone on to the list of people's hatred for Daniel Levy for sacking people too soon. Well, the only person right now saying Thomas Frank needs time is Thomas Frank. But it's not that every manager needs time. The right managers need time, but this is not the right manager. How many times did I have to watch Pedro Porro today again? Just put the ball into the channel, whack it long for someone to aimlessly chase. Soulboy Spurs says, come on Barnaby, Simons is poor. He's not a poor player, mate. He's not a poor player. He may not be up to the level and pace of the Premier League yet, but he's not a poor player. He's not. You don't get to play where he's played if you're a poor player. It's just, that's not the truth for me. It's just not. Tone says, Barnaby fuming, rolled up his t-shirt sleeves. Yeah, well, it's either that I'm ready for a scrap, so I need to look like I've got a wife beater on, or it's because it's just Brazil and the speed is, the temperature is too much for me. Look, it's subjective anyway. It doesn't really matter whether I think Xavi Simons is better than he's showing or not, and you don't. It's subjective. You're absolutely allowed your opinions, as am I. But more importantly, is like this Vinay Venkatesan thing of him being like, oh, well, I gave Mikel Arteta time, so I've got to give Thomas Frank time. Mikel Arteta was never, ever, ever in this hole. Never in this hole. And he won the FA Cup at the end of his first 6 months, first season. Well, Thomas Frank's out of the FA Cup. Frey Mail saying it's not Frank's fault. Enoch should never have hired him. The blame lies purely on them. Well, it is their fault for hiring him. But Thomas Frank must have told them in his interview what style of play he was going to attempt. And what exactly is that style of play? Just utter long ball tripe. Utter tripe. Louis D14 says Solanke needed to start. Well, Solanke came on, and ironically, as soon as Solanke came on, we stopped playing kind of mid to long range balls. Solanke's the one player in our squad who I think can hold those balls up. The kind of confusion of thinking at Tottenham Hotspur at the moment is utterly beyond comparison. In terms of my time supporting this this amazing club, but the amount of times I've supported us when we played dreadful football. But the confusion, the kind of mixed signals and confusion of thinking is unbelievable. And on Tuesday night, I think it's Tuesday night, we played Dortmund at home. Now, we actually have an amazing record in Europe. We're unbeaten at home in about 3 or 4 years. But we're not going to beat Dortmund at home if he sticks with him. We're just not. And it's borderline hilarious. It is borderline hilarious. It's that bad. Devon Finnegan says, Barnaby, how does this compare to the 90s, early noughties when we were mid-table? Well, in terms of the apathy, very similarly. I remember when I was growing up in those days, the 90s, I was often so apathetic about it. I mean, you didn't have as many options to watch the game those days, but I would basically walk past a radio rentals, which in those days was a TV shop, and I would just look for the results in the window of the TV shop. That's how apathetic I was. I was, no interest in trying to go to the game. I guess I was young. I didn't have any money, and my dad supported Liverpool, so he was never going to take me to the game, but I didn't care, and I don't care now. I don't care right now. We just, I think in the first half, West Ham fans are apparently singing, "How shit must you be, we're winning away." That's it. Ashen Wizard says, back in my days, is Barnaby an uncle status? Yeah, but, mate, I've been an uncle since 1995. So I'm very much in uncle status, to say the least. To say the least. Tone says, drinking a tinny just like you, on a mountain in Burma, easy to laugh when we're far from the mayhem. Yeah, I suppose so. Let's talk about it. Apart from what you think Vinay Venkatesham and the Lewis family should do, what are they going to do? Apparently, one of the main reasons Paratici left is because he said from the start he didn't think Thomas Frank was the right man. Well, he's been proven correct, to say the least, and we've just let him go to Fiorentina, dead bottom of Serie A, and now we have Johan Lange as our sporting director, who's mates with Thomas Frank. They've worked together before. So, what are the actual chances of him losing his job? I'll tell you this. I won't tell you what it is, but I've had a brilliant idea. And if Thomas Frank's still in charge on Monday, I get back from Brazil on Monday, then from Tuesday I'll talk you through this brilliant idea I've had. But if he's still in charge on Monday, I'll be flabbergasted. Absolutely flabbergasted. Sekias says, we are in the pits of hell. That, my friend, is an understatement. We are so far beyond the pits of hell. Simon McCann says, we need a Sean Dyche to steady this ship before talking about being a Champions League team again. The foundations have to come first. Mate, Thomas Frank is a Sean Dyche. He literally is a Sean Dyche. Have you been watching the fucking turd that he's been serving up style-wise? A few people talking about Xabi Alonso. No, he's just not. Why would he be interested? Why would anyone be interested? It's absolutely shameful. Barvin says Harry Redknapp, and I will say the same thing I always say when people talk about Harry Redknapp. Since Harry Redknapp last managed a football team, which I believe was QPR, he went on I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, and was king of the jungle. You cannot have the king of the jungle from I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here as our manager, caretaker or not. You just can't. You just can't. So that's not an option. Ryan Mason is not an option because he just went to West Brom for his first managerial job, got sacked. There are no options, really, and that's why Thomas Frank is still in the job. But it is absolutely Ridiculous. I mean, some people saying get Ange back. I mean, it can't get any worse, but I don't think the answer is Ange. I don't think the fact that we've made two. Look, I love Ange. He'll always be a legend. He won the trophy, and those first 10 games were unbelievably enjoyable. But I don't think the fact that realistically we've hired two managers who have been found out incredibly quickly means that we should go back to the first one. I really don't. And Simon Wood, though, says Ange would be top 5 with this squad. At least he's a winner Frank will never be. Well, Ange was with this squad last year and he wasn't top 5, so that's a bit of a difficult one to defend, I'm afraid. For those of you who watch my videos regularly, and I thank you, and again, sorry about the production values right now because I'm in Brazil. I really apologize. I'm back on Tuesday. But those who watch regularly, I literally called how that game would go. I said, I'm very fearful about this game. Everybody's saying how easily we'll beat West Ham. And I was like, if we don't score early, and I even said if we don't score too early, as in 2 goals early, then the crowd will, either stop chanting or go toxic. Well, they stopped chanting after 10 minutes because of the utter dross that was being served up. And then I said, West Ham will come into it and they'll probably get a goal and they'll try and hang on. That's exactly what happened. Now, we got an equaliser. And then, despite the equaliser, we still managed to give it up at the end. It was so Tottenham. So Tottenham. Tom Brooks, thank you so much for the super chat. It says, Brentford and Brighton keep improving after change in sales. We're broken. No elite striker, no pull. It's rotten from the top. I can't disagree with you, Tom. I cannot disagree with you. Guys, any super chats, of course, I will put on screen. Tom Brooks, I really appreciate it. Brentford and Brighton, the difference with those kind of clubs for me, and this is no shade being thrown at them, but the entitlement isn't there. The expectation isn't there. So those teams can buy players who are kind of unheard of or previously hadn't been heard of. And they are allowed time, those players, to kind of bed themselves in. Just before I go on, I've noticed Smith. Thank you, Smith, for watching, mate. How are you, mate? It's really good to hear from you. Heiting has just come in. If Frank goes on Monday, it'll be his until the end of the season. Yeah, I kind of mentioned that earlier, Smith, and I'm like, what a bonkers appointment. Because he just got sacked from Ajax. And Ajax are having like the worst season of ever. So it's a bonkers appointment. But to go back to what Tom was saying about Brentford and Brighton, just like, Tottenham aren't the same as them. We can't, that's why the crowd and expectation is so different. And we can't try and buy the same players as that because they won't be given the time like they are at those smaller clubs. Ah, dear. Josie says the attacking portion of the squad is not good enough. It doesn't matter who's coached, they'll still have the same poor tools to work with. Frank took 8 years at Brentford with the right buys. Maybe. But I have to say, I don't think the attackers are as bad as they're being made to show at the moment. Ball Juice of Zeus, thank you for your super chat. Says, who would you get in? I don't know. Bobby Andrews has just said Robbie Keane would come. He's manager of Ferencváros. I don't know. I think Smith probably has a point. Smitherdy. He said Johnny Heiting has just been given the assistant manager's job. His agent came out and said, we know everything that's going on at Spurs. That's why we signed on. Maybe he's been told. If it doesn't improve, you'll get the manager's job. But Thomas Frank came out and said, I was the one who interviewed Heitinger. I'm just going to go and look at Twitter to see if we're getting anywhere near Thomas Frank's embarrassing, no doubt, press conference after the game or interview. Jack Pitt Brooks says, the amazing thing about Tottenham Hotspur is that you never know when the next nadir is. Just as soon as you've hit one, there's another nadir around the corner. Yep. Totally true. It's horrible, isn't it? Joe White asks, what did you think to Gallagher? I thought Gallagher played within the boundaries of how a Thomas Frank coach team will allow him to play. That's what I thought. I thought he looked a little bit rusty, which you'd expect. He's not been playing first team football really. Excuse me, for Atletico Madrid. And he worked hard. But what does it matter? What does it matter when you've got Thomas Frank in charge? And I'll say it again, a few of you will have heard me say it a number of times. When he was first being talked about as a potential replacement for Ange Postecoglou, I watched his Brentford side play against Tottenham twice last season, and they were so direct. And I was like, it's a bit long ball for me. But I allowed myself to believe that he'd come to Spurs and he would play a better quality of football. And he can't, and he won't. And Justin Cochran clearly isn't able to have enough influence on him to allow it to happen. And we're just not very good. To say the absolute least, we are not very good. And again, like I said at the beginning, to play a mid-block against West Ham at home. It starts right from the beginning of every single game. We get kick-off, we pass it back to Vicario, and he lumps it up to a bunch of players who aren't good in the air. So why are we lumping it up there? And then that just continues all game. The fullbacks and the keeper lumping it up to players who can't hold it up. And then, like I said earlier, when he finally brings Dom Solanke on, we stop lumping it up as much. It's just embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Hammers Wheat 100, a West Ham fan in my comments says, we battered you first half, should have been 2 or 3-0. Completely agree. Completely agree. Everybody we played recently should have battered us 4 or 5-0. It's been going on for 3 or 4 months. It's horrible. Here's a good point from Simon McCann. Dembele to Modric. Modric out to Bale. Now it's Gray to Simons out to Odegaard. There's the comparison. That's why things are so bad. Cost cutting. Yeah. I mean, one thing I will say is Simon Jordan talked a bit about this on TalkSport yesterday, and it is true, but nobody really remembers it. We're not allowed to spend as much money as everyone thinks we are on wages because of the bank loans that we've got. We are the most in-debt football club in world football, and people don't want to remember that, but it's true. So I'm just saying it's not as easy, but I think we can do better than we are. Ball Juice of Zeus, thank you, mate, says, whenever a team are doing shit or an individual player is having a goal drought, they always use us to bounce back. It's pathetic. Yeah, it's called Dr. Tottenham, Ball Juice. It's called Dr. Tottenham. And Dr. Tottenham will see you now, West Ham. And boy, by God, did we see them. And it's not just appalling because, it's another loss for Spurs. It's appalling because it allows West Ham to have more chance of getting out of trouble. We're not suited under Thomas Frank to playing at home. He has no interest in playing front foot football. So I'm just going to lie down because my back kills. So apologies for this, but this is the realities of YouTube. Conan says he really is an Arsenal fan. Yeah, talking about Thomas Frank. It does look that way. It does look that way. But thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Machina Joe says 3-point lane. Yeah. Froma says, I think we have the players to play the 3-4-3 system. Instead of wingers of 2 narrow 10s, the width comes from Porra and Spencer Udogie, in my opinion. Well, actually, this is what I was thinking today. When Ben Davies got injured, was there anybody else watching from home or in the stadium who thought twice? Who thought that to replace Ben Davies, he should bring on Jed Spence? I didn't. I thought he had to bring on Destiny Udogie for the balance. And he didn't. He brought on Jed Spence. And I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. It's like, you need balance. It's so easy. We've seen it all season. It is so easy for teams to defend against us. when we've got a right footer on the left. It's so easy. Kev Williams says, hi Barnaby, wow, this is a new low. My God, man, please get an interim in and bring Poch in as soon as he's available. Yeah, has to be Poch. Tundalea said, bring Harry Redknapp in. Again, I'll say what I said before. You cannot have the king of the jungle from I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here as manager of Tottenham Hotspur. You just can't. Machina Joe says, Vuskovic knew Frank is shit, that's why I left. Hilarious. I think you're a West Ham fan, mate, but thank you for the comment. I appreciate it. Scrappy Seven says, Barnaby showing more heart doing this video than half our players that first half. Yeah, I'm in Brazil, guys, and there's no Wi-Fi in any other room, so I'm lying on a hardwood floor, or lino floor, I guess. And it's pretty uncomfortable, but whatever. Not as uncomfortable as watching Tottenham Hotspur. John Shaw says, news on a live Leeds chat said he's been sacked already. I don't think so, but I'll go and check on Twitter. That would be pretty decent news, wouldn't it? It would be pretty decent news. Everybody on Twitter is tagging Spurs official in the hope. Spurs fans apparently were singing, according to Chris Cowden, you're getting sacked in the morning. Yeah, I don't think he's been sacked yet. I don't know. Robbie Legendary says it's bad all round for you stuck in the Brazilian prison cell there, yeah. It's a bit of a prison cell. Systemic Frog says squatting in Rio is better than renting in Edmonton. Yeah. I'm actually at my partner's family's house. It's lovely in Brazil, I have to say. I'm quite tempted to move to Brazil. It's just, maybe this is one of the reasons why I'm like not that bothered, is the sun's always out here, so your quality of life is just much happier. Don't have to wear a fucking beanie hat all the time. Rob Reed, thank you for your comment, mate. Says he's just out of his depth. He's drowning at a big club. We can't have any more experiments and time wasting. It won't be easy in the summer, but we need tried and tested Poch back at the helm. I think, for me, it seems like, and Systemic Frog says, I tried Costa Rica, almost the same thing. I think they're trying to basically make it to the end of the season, aren't they? To then allow us to get involved in the group of good managers who are going to be available after the World Cup, including Poch. But there we go. It's you, Tunde. Thank you, mate. Tunde, sorry. He says, I was at the match we used to sit next to each other in the south stand. He says, I was at the match in the seat next to which you at first had Barnaby, and we were all singing You're Getting Sacked in the Morning. Also, he got booed off, but the players were clapped off. All right. Well, Tunde, mate, thank you so much. I really appreciate you watching and commenting and for that intel. Yeah, I was in the south stand for the first couple of years in one of those 1882 seats, very expensive. But it was good times then, but after Poch got sacked, nah, wasn't interested. Josie says, Carrick, Man United ex-player, comes in interim. They played unbelievably today in the image of Ferguson. Anything wrong with an ex-Spurs player coming in and filling the squad with values? I could be wrong, I wouldn't read too much into what Carrick did today. Man United have a history in the last few years of beating the big teams. Sorry, as you see me crawl back into a less embarrassing position. They have a history of beating big teams in games they're expected to lose and then not being able to break down deep blocks. And I don't foresee it being that different under Carrick, but we'll see. But listen, at the moment, I'm in such a fucking palaver about Thomas Frank. I honestly don't give a fuck who comes in. I don't think it should be Ryan Mason. I really don't. And I don't think it should be Heitinger, but it is bizarre that we've literally yesterday appointed a new assistant manager for him. I said it. Guys, I said it after the last time we lost. I think it is so dangerous to stick with Thomas Frank when he may well lose to West Ham and then drag us closer to relegation. And that's exactly what's happened. It's exactly what's happened. Why can we all see it, but they can't? I don't get it. I don't get it. Tone asks, does this chat box allow swear words? Probably, don't know. Robbie Legendary says Ancelotti. Well, he's manager of Brazil, isn't he? So that's not going to happen. A lot of managers who would normally be potentially available have gone down the international management route this time. So, Systemic Frog says, if Alonso would be long-term caretaker until Poch arrives, if Alonso would be long-term, a caretaker would be until Poch arrives, but do our board want to give away that kind of control? Alonso's not going to come to Spurs. It's fucking pie in the sky. It's pie in the sky. Joe White says, I'd rather stick with Frank than end up with Heitinger. Ajuma says, don't buy any more players until we've structured manager, sell Frank. Yeah, I don't know, guys. It's absolutely shocking, isn't it? And also, it's like, I'd love to be on this for an hour, but there's nothing to talk about other than how shit we are. There's nothing to talk about. People talking about Dyche incoming. Dyche has got a job. Sean Dyche has got a cushy job, hasn't he? So he's not going anywhere. Nottingham Forest. I don't know. Listen, guys, thanks for coming on. Sorry about the beginning when the signal was so bad. I appreciate you staying on. Like I said, I fly back tomorrow night, Sunday night, fly back in Monday morning. Realistically, I'll be jet lagged till Tuesday. But I'll be back with you on Tuesday for more of the same. Listen, as a content person, this last 18 months, other than the UEFA Cup final, it's been awful. Just nobody's interested in Spurs at the moment because we're so bad. It's as simple as that. Nobody is interested in Tottenham. It is shockingly, embarrassingly bad. And it's that apathy that the club need to be most afraid of, because people aren't filling up the ground for London derbies like today. And the fans aren't getting behind the team. They just lost Sonny, didn't they? So they lost all that South Korean money. It's a slippery slope, guys. Not a lot good going on about it. Thanks for watching. See you again soon. Coys.
Get yourself to okjersey.com, where you can buy the best football shirts around, including this one I'm wearing now, and of course the absolutely magnificent Black Spurs away shirt. And as if that wasn't enough, if you go onto their website and like the look of one of the shirts there, choose your size, pick the Champions League badge for the sleeve as well if you're that way inclined, then go to checkout and type the code BARN into the coupon section. That's BARN as in short for Barnaby. And when you do, you'll get a whopping 8% off your purchase. Now, I'm no mathematician, but 8% means if you've spent, say, and let's face it, I'm being optimistic here, 100 quid, then you get £8 off, not to be sniffed at. Get yourself to okjersey.com to pick one up, or if you're too lazy to type in the website, just scan the QR code